So now I'm going to go into my theory on air signs. Peace and love, y'all. Air signs and their intelligence and their genius. Air signs are known in astrology to be the intellectuals of the zodiac. A lot of air signs are very smart. Even as children, those kids are smart. They're smart in the aspects of a lot of them are very book smart, a lot of them are very common sense smart. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Air signs are very interesting to me. All the signs are. Um, but what's interesting to me about air signs is that even though they're the intellectuals, they're often very shallow. They're smart in the terms of like book smart when it comes to common sense. They're smart with that. When it comes to depth, my personal opinion, they tend to be very shallow. Unless two things. Unless they've been through shit in life, heavy shit, or something that makes them more down to earth and not up in the air and flighty and, not like airhead. Or if they're not considered mainstream standards attractive. Let me break down what I mean by that. Air signs can be very shallow and very surface intelligent. They're the type that, you know, go to school, get good grades, and very capable of it. Sometimes don't even need to study. They just put two and two together. They're smart. When it comes to deep, heavy conversations, a lot of air signs and a lot of fire signs don't like to have deep, heavy conversations. They can't deal with the weight of it all a lot of times. Not all the time. And they're very superficial. The physicalities, a lot of times, are very important to them. A lot of air signs, especially if they're like Libra, very into their looks. Oh my gosh, their looks are everything. Especially if they have the mainstream attractiveness or what's considered attractive in the mainstream. If they're not mainstream standards attractive or they've been through heavy shit, they develop a level of depth to them that can be very powerful because air signs have the ability to move crowds in a way. For example, if we were in a revolution, the air signs would be either air or fire would be the forefront of the revolution. The air signs would be the face of the revolution. The fire signs would be the soldiers, the fighters of the revolution. The air signs would be the diplomats. They would be the negotiators at the forefront. Air signs have mastered an ability of public appeal, I should say. Air signs know how to be very likable because they naturally have a very charming way about them, even without trying. They can talk to people and charm the hell out of you just being themselves. If you look at a lot of fields of entertainment, air signs dominate entertainment, mainstream entertainment, I should say. Air and fire signs tend to dominate. But you want to talk about who goes mainstream? Air signs. Because air signs know how to grab a crowd. For example, let's take it to music. Tupac, a air sign. Biggie, an air sign. Patti LaBelle, a air sign. Gladys Knight, a air sign. Lil Wayne, a air sign. Um, you have Will Smith, a air sign. Michael B. Jordan, an air sign. They're all air signs. The mainstream forefront because they have this diplomatic appeal about them. T.I., an air sign. Air signs know how to talk to people and how to get their way. And that's a way that they also know how to manipulate. That's a genius in them. They know that they can, the ones that are mainstream attractive know that they can get things based on their looks. And so they use that to their advantage, hence the Kim Kardashians of the world. You see what I'm saying? The ones who are not considered mainstream standard attractive, who have depth, would be the India Aries. Very powerful sister. A lot of depth to her. India Arie and Kim Kardashian are the same astrological sign in Western astrology. They're both Libras. These are two very different Libras. You see what I'm saying? Where Kim comes across a lot more shallow with not as much depth. But she's nice to look at according to mainstream standards. India Arie, even though I find her very beautiful, she's not what mainstream standards of attractiveness is. But she has depth to her. You have, see, either with the air signs, they have to either go through something deep or they have to not be able to use that ability to make people gravitate to them because of their physicalities in order to be deeper. This is just my opinion. You can agree, you can disagree. Feel free to comment. I don't got no problem with it. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, whatever. But to me, that's the genius of the air signs. Tupac knew how to grab a crowd with his lyrics. Biggie knew how to appeal to a crowd with his lyrics. Two very different styles of rapping. Patti LaBelle knows how to grab a crowd with her voice. Gladys Knight knows how to grab a crowd with her voice. She's another air sign. It's very interesting, the air signs. I find them very, very intriguing. Now, if you're dealing with something in terms of the Aquarian energy, the Aquarian out of the air signs is more of the rebel. The air signs will be rebels, but in their own way. And a lot of times in a diplomatic way. The Aquarians out of the air signs are the rebels that will wreak havoc if they want to. Like a Bobby Brown, who's another air sign. You have the Talib Kweli air signs, the India Arie air signs. You have the Kim Kardashian air signs. You have the Trey Songz air signs. You have the Will Smith air signs. They sit and they smile and they charm their way. And they, hey baby, what's your name? Like he does in that song. Air signs are the ones who can make things happen by their likability. They can get through doors that everyone else can't get through because they know how to use their likability and be diplomatic in such a way. Like look at Nick Cannon, air sign. Nick Cannon, and I'm a fan of Nick Cannon, but honestly, he's not the best actor. He's not the best comedian. He's not the best rapper, but he's found a way to build a name for himself and to be someone who's going to go down in history, whether people like him or not. He's an air sign. He's diplomatic. He knows how to use that air sign likability. He may not be the quote unquote best at these things, but he knows how to get his foot in the fucking door. So that's the air sign intelligence by Ozma. Peace.